You're up.
Your commanding officer, and I'm gonna give you 60 seconds to deal with it.
Yes, sir.
What are you, AI?
A Gump's AI. I'm a prototype, and my existence is classified. But I can't do this alone. I need someone who could think outside the box.
The world of Outside the War opens with a haunting reflection on the cost of conflict, where the shadows of past battles linger long after the guns have fallen silent. It is a story that examines the delicate threads of human resilience, the quiet bravery that persists away from the front lines, and the way ordinary people navigate the aftermath of chaos. Every scene seems carefully composed to immerse viewers in both the physical and emotional landscapes that emerge once the war has subsided, painting a picture of a world still scarred, yet yearning for renewal. The cinematography captures this duality with remarkable subtlety, alternating between the stark emptiness of ruined urban streets and the soft, almost tender moments of life, attempting to reclaim its rhythm. There is a sense that the war never truly ends. It transforms, hiding in the spaces where laughter, fear, and hope intermingle, shaping the lives of those who survived and those who live in the shadow of loss. The narrative of Outside the War does not rely on dramatic heroics or conventional conflict resolution. Instead, it delves into the intimate struggles of individuals who must redefine their sense of purpose. The characters are layered, their emotions raw yet restrained, revealing how the smallest decisions can carry the weight of history. In this world, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. A single act of kindness or defiance reverberates with the power to heal or to fracture the fragile bonds that hold communities together. The tension is not in battle scenes, but in the quiet moments decisions made in whispered tones, eyes exchanged across crowded streets, or letters written and never sent. These moments anchor the story, emphasizing the resilience of the human spirit and the complexities of forgiveness, reconciliation, and moral choice in the aftermath of devastation. The visual storytelling enhances this meditation on post-war life, using light and shadow to reflect both the lingering trauma and the tentative hope that follows destruction. There is a poetry in the way abandoned spaces are shown, overgrown yet hauntingly beautiful, suggesting that life persists even where devastation once reigned. Scenes of simple domestic life preparing meals, tending gardens, or gathering around flickering fires carry profound weight, reminding viewers that survival is not just physical, but emotional and spiritual. The world outside the war is not one of immediate triumph. It is a space where every small victory, every reclaimed smile, becomes a testament to endurance. The camera lingers on these fragments of existence, allowing audiences to absorb the texture of recovery, the painstaking effort required to rebuild lives, and the fragile hope that emerges in the quietest of places. Music and sound design play a critical role in shaping the atmosphere, evoking both memory and longing. There is a delicate interplay between silence and subtle auditory cues that draws attention to the inner lives of the characters. A solitary violin, the distant rumble of reconstruction, footsteps echoing through abandoned halls, each sound amplifies the emotional resonance of a scene, grounding the viewer in the lived reality of the world. Sound, in this context, becomes more than a sensory experience. It is a narrative force that communicates loss, resilience, and the unspoken bonds between those who endure together. The auditory landscape mirrors the visual one, emphasizing that the aftermath of war is not empty, but charged with the echoes of what once was and the fragile promise of what might yet come. The storytelling is particularly striking in its exploration of human connection. Relationships forged in the shadow of conflict are depicted with nuance, revealing how trauma can both fracture and deepen bonds. Friendships, familial ties, and fleeting encounters are all imbued with layers of significance. Moments of shared laughter or quiet understanding carry an emotional intensity that transcends the absence of action-driven sequences. The film reminds viewers that healing is not linear. It is complicated by grief, regret, and the persistent memory of those lost. Characters are seen wrestling with their past choices while attempting to engage with a present that feels simultaneously fragile and uncertain. Every interaction, no matter how small, feels consequential, capturing the delicate negotiations required to maintain trust and compassion in a world still recovering from upheaval. The psychological depth of Outside the War is equally compelling, as it examines how trauma manifests in subtle and profound ways. Characters grapple with nightmares, haunting memories, and the dissonance between the person they were before the conflict and the person they have become. There is a constant tension between remembrance and the desire to move forward, between the pull of past horrors and the possibility of renewal. The story portrays mental and emotional struggle not as melodrama, but as a lived reality, inviting viewers to empathize with the silent burdens carried by those whose lives have been reshaped by war. In this way, the narrative challenges simplistic notions of victory or defeat, showing that the truest battles are often internal, fought in the recesses of memory and conscience. The visual language further reinforces these themes, with careful attention to color, framing, and perspective. Muted tones dominate, reflecting the subdued atmosphere of post-conflict existence, yet bursts of color punctuate moments of human warmth and hope. Long, contemplative shots allow viewers to linger on expressions, gestures, and environments, emphasizing the weight of small choices and the beauty found in seemingly mundane details. Framing often isolates characters within landscapes, highlighting their solitude while also drawing attention to the relationships that tether them to others. Every visual choice feels intentional, reinforcing the film's meditation on survival, resilience, and the fragile emergence of life after devastation. Conflict in Outside the War is subtle but pervasive, manifesting in social, emotional, and ethical dilemmas rather than physical confrontations. Characters must navigate scarcity, societal judgment, and personal guilt, all while seeking meaning in a world that has shifted beneath their feet. Each dilemma underscores the complexity of rebuilding not just structures, but trust, community, and identity. The narrative examines the ripple effects of war, how a single event can reshape generations, alter values, and redefine the human experience. It emphasizes that peace is not simply the absence of conflict, but the ongoing process of reconciliation and adaptation, where every choice shapes the contours of a fragile, reconstructed society. The emotional resonance is heightened by moments of human tenderness that punctuate the narrative. These interactions between strangers, friends, or family members offer glimpses of joy, solidarity, and hope. They are not grand or dramatic, but deeply affecting precisely because they are understated, grounded in realism and empathy. Through these scenes, the story conveys that recovery is a mosaic built from countless small acts of courage, kindness, and persistence. It portrays the extraordinary endurance required to find meaning and connection in the aftermath of suffering, emphasizing that human resilience is both quiet and profound, revealed in gestures that may seem insignificant but are transformative in context. At its core, Outside the War is a meditation on the human condition, exploring how individuals and communities navigate the liminal space between destruction and renewal. It acknowledges the permanence of loss while celebrating the possibilities of regeneration. The film examines identity, morality, and the enduring power of memory, showing that life beyond conflict is complex, unpredictable, and intensely human. The narrative avoids sentimentality, instead offering a nuanced exploration of how ordinary people find strength, hope, and meaning amid the echoes of extraordinary trauma. Every scene, gesture, and line of dialogue contributes to this vision, crafting a cohesive, emotionally compelling portrait of life after war. The storytelling also engages with broader societal implications, highlighting how collective experience shapes culture, governance, and social norms. The world depicted is not simply a backdrop, but an active participant in the narrative, influencing decisions, relationships, and the pace of recovery. Reconstruction is as much about rebuilding community as it is about restoring physical spaces. Social rituals, shared labor, and the preservation of memory emerge as essential components of healing. By showing the interplay between individual and collective experience, the narrative underscores that post-war recovery is neither isolated nor uniform, but a shared endeavor marked by negotiation, compromise, and mutual reliance. Throughout the story, symbolism and metaphor enrich the narrative, providing layers of meaning that invite reflection. Environmental motifs, recurring objects, and recurring imagery echo the themes of memory, loss, and regeneration. These elements serve as quiet reminders that life continues to grow, adapt, and endure, even in the shadow of devastation. Symbolism bridges the personal and the universal, allowing audiences to connect their own experiences with the characters' journeys. In doing so, the story transcends its specific context, resonating with anyone who has faced profound change, grief, or the challenge of rebuilding after a disruptive force has upended their world. The pacing of Outside the War contributes to its reflective and immersive quality, favoring a deliberate rhythm that mirrors the gradual process of recovery. Scenes unfold with patience, allowing viewers to inhabit the emotional and physical space of the characters fully. This measured approach encourages contemplation, inviting audiences to witness the complexities of life after trauma without the distraction of rapid plot mechanics. It emphasizes that healing is slow, often nonlinear, and requires sustained attention to the small, incremental victories that accumulate over time. The pacing aligns with the story's thematic focus, reinforcing the weight of experience and the significance of everyday perseverance. Interpersonal dynamics remain at the forefront, revealing the layered consequences of war on human relationships. Trust, loyalty, and moral choice are continuously tested, highlighting the fragility and resilience of connection. Characters negotiate power, authority, and responsibility in subtle yet profound ways, exploring how social hierarchies, cultural norms, and personal ethics intersect in a post-conflict context. The film illustrates that human interaction is both a site of tension and a source of healing, emphasizing that relationships, however complicated, serve as a lifeline in rebuilding a sense of normalcy and belonging. Every dialogue, glance, or gesture reinforces this intricate web, illustrating how recovery is inherently relational. Outside the War also challenges audiences to consider the lingering effects of trauma on identity and self-perception. Individuals must reconcile who they were with who they have become, negotiating internal and external expectations in a world reshaped by conflict. The narrative suggests that identity is fluid and continually reconstructed, influenced by memory, experience, and circumstance. This exploration is neither didactic nor simplistic. It respects the complexity of human psychology and the ongoing negotiation between past and present. Through this lens, the story portrays post-war life as a process of continuous self-discovery, resilience, and moral reckoning, revealing the depth and nuance of personal transformation. The cinematic language of the story underscores its thematic concerns, employing visual motifs, framing, and pacing to mirror the emotional journey of the characters. Light and shadow, distance and proximity, stillness and movement all serve to reflect inner states and relational dynamics. The attention to visual composition reinforces the narrative's contemplative tone, allowing viewers to feel the weight of absence, the significance of presence, and the subtle rhythms of life outside the immediate pressures of conflict. Through these cinematic choices, the story creates an immersive, effective experience that resonates on both intellectual and emotional levels. Ultimately, Outside the War is a meditation on endurance, empathy, and the human capacity to rebuild in the face of overwhelming loss. It captures the interplay between personal memory and collective experience, showing that life beyond conflict is neither simple nor linear, but rich with challenge, discovery, and quiet triumph. The narrative emphasizes that recovery is not only about survival, but about reclaiming meaning, connection, and identity, demonstrating that even in the aftermath of devastation, the human spirit persists, adapts, and finds ways to flourish. Every frame, every interaction, every decision becomes a testament to the resilience, vulnerability, and indomitable will of those navigating the spaces outside the war.